You do have to consent to be recorded, I think. I did read that.
I've never
Look at
seen that
that.
before.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, here we are. Welcome to Spirit Cafe Sessions, everybody, with Nikki.
And Kim?
Okay. So we are excited about this episode for the fact that if you're spiritual, if you're religious, you come across these types of people probably on a weekly basis or daily.
Yep.
Sometimes with me and Kim, it's daily.
Okay.
So this episode, what is it about, Kim?
Those people who do not believe.
That's right.
Those,
This is our non-believers.
yeah, that you've encountered them. And you
Yeah.
may even be one yourself or have been one yourself.
That's right. I was right here. I was one. I definitely was one myself. So let's get into the cards that I pulled because I did pre-pull today. And two cards fell out, two. Okay. And the cards that fell out was the Ace of Cups and the Magician. And the Magician, whoever knows me knows that's my absolute favorite card ever. I love the Magician, but it comes out with the Ace of Cups. So by the time that this episode is coming out, we have started the Mercury retrograde, which, you either believe in it or you don't, right? So here's the thing about this Mercury retrograde, whether you believe it or not, it is in a water sign. So there will be miscommunications with people's emotions. People will be very emotional. There could be emotional breakdowns here or there, unless you ground yourself. But these two cards coming out together is very promising because this tells me that collectively you could be feeling like you are moving through some very dark emotions, and the Magician is an alchemist. It's about turning pain into power. So when these cards come together, this is telling me that you are looking at perhaps certain emotions that have boggled you down, and you are working through it, and you're processing them the right way. You are not bypassing, and you're turning that pain into power. And the Magician is all about also creating the life that you want and the reality that you want. So you're using that to possibly create scenarios and situations in your life that are going to benefit you in the long run. So if you're feeling like that, you're probably on par with what's going on astrologically all the way up there. So there you go.
Can it ever just be happy? Not all stressful.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no, it was last year was a 9-year. It was the year of the snake, as everybody sees on social media now. Yep, the snake is about shedding, but on the number 9 actually correlates endings. So it kind of was like a boom, boom for the world. It was a lot of things ended for a lot of people last year, whether it was relationships, jobs, friendships, whatever it was. And then usually the last couple of weeks before a year like that, the things that end are more internal than external. So it's ideas that you had about yourself, behaviors that you're finally letting go of, trauma responses that you finally dealt with. So it is very, very heavy, but we are heading into a 1 year, which is all about the self, which is like my favorite, because usually when we head into a 1 year, everybody starts improving themselves. And I'm not just talking about physically, even though I'm talking about internally, which is the most important.
Well, quite frankly, if you're going to internally improve yourself, it's going to come external.
It is 100%. And not just with your body, but with your life.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Because as long as you sit here and, oh, this is not good or whatever. And those are the people who they don't feel good and they're always sick and I'm not saying that people can't have illnesses and they're being sick, but you can just very much know where somebody is mentally.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And that is shown on your external, like whether it's how you look, physically, and how you live your life and the relationships you
100%.
have. So it's very much that.
100%.
So
my window's too bright.
Is it too bright?
Okay. It was too bright. That's why I just jumped off screen to shut my window. I'm not complaining. I want the sun out every day now, but I'm just saying it's like right shining in my window. Anyway, non-believers.
Yes.
Okay. Non-believers. This is an interesting topic to me because I really don't care if people don't believe in what I believe in. I just what I'm like. I think maybe there was a point where I did care, but I really can't remember it. I've I think I've always been like this, but I am around certain people who do get offended if people don't believe what they believe, right?
Yeah.
But I will say this, sometimes I do get frustrated with people in my life who, it's not that they don't believe what I'm trying to say them, but it's more so they don't take it in
Mhm.
when I know that it could help them. That frustrates me. That's not non-believer. That's a different thing. Anyway, non-believers.
Yeah.
Okay? We're surrounded by them. No matter what religion or what you believe in spiritually, you're surrounded by non-believers, right?
Yeah. So, you know, I am believe in spiritualism, and that's just something that has, resonated with me since I found it and started dealing with it.
Hmm.
However, you know, I try to be very open to other people's beliefs, as I would appreciate if people were open to mine. And so Nikki did allude to the fact that she used to not be a believer. So, did you want to tell us your story? But I want to know what you're drinking today.
Oh, I forgot. So I'm actually drinking a hibiscus
It's a very cute cup.
lemon tea. Yes, it's Nightmare on not
Nightmare
Nightmare on Elm
Before
Street. That's
Christmas. Nightmare Before
thank you.
Christmas.
Nightmare on Elm Street's my favorite horror movie, so I do that often. Nightmare Before Christmas. Thank you, Kim. It's not
Okay.
mine, it's my daughter's, my oldest daughter. So anyway, so it's a hibiscus lemon tea, which you didn't think would taste good, but it's actually really refreshing. And I like it. So
Very cool.
that's my tea. And it's kind of like a little green tea too, which is really good for you. So I'm trying to stay on that green tea kick.
Well,
But like,
yeah, it's good for you because it has antioxidants and
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
it's really good for you. Yeah.
Oh, just trying
But
to.
non-believers. What was I non-believer of? So we've mentioned this before. I was Catholic. I say was because I don't believe in the faith anymore, but I was raised Catholic. It was, in my house, my family's still Catholic. I mean, half my siblings are Catholic, half my siblings are atheist, and then I'm the one in the middle that's like, "Eh, I'm spiritual, you know. There was a time before I was no, say more agnostic. I was more agnostic. I believed that there was something out there. I didn't really care to really go into specifics. I knew there was something out there. I did not believe in an old man up there with a beard. I did not believe in that stuff. I just believe that there was something out there, and I still do believe that there's something out there. But it's reframed itself, I should say. Right. I am spiritual. I believe in energy above anything and everything else. I have a Gemini moon. I will always try to revert to the intellectual side, the logical side before anything else, and sometimes it does hinder progress in certain areas of my life. Fair. But I do believe in spirituality in terms of energy, which is something that I've had to explain to a lot of people. I'm a big believer of quantum mechanics and quantum physics and quantum entanglement because I mean, there is evidence of that, but because I feel like you cannot not believe it. Once you know what it is, you cannot not believe it. But I also believe that there was something that gave us that. There was something that gave us that, right? So I do pray my own version of what praying is. I do pray. I do believe in spirit guides. I do. I believe in the afterlife. I don't believe it's like, you go up and you're on the clouds for the rest of, and heaven is that's not what I believe it is. But I do believe that there's an afterlife, and I do believe that we can reach out and communicate with the ones that we miss or that want to communicate with us. We I actually read something fascinating today, which was we only see 3% of our reality. We only see 3%. And that is something a lot of people don't realize. What you think you're seeing is only 3%. You are not seeing what's beyond that. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's impossible because we lose our minds. So we don't see what goes on behind closed doors. We don't see what goes on energetically in other dimensions, which have been proven. There's other dimensions and different timelines. We don't see, right?
Mm.
So I feel like it's interesting when people tell me that they don't believe in something because not only has, I mean, if you've never heard of the God particle, I absolutely implore you read up on it, watch the documentary on it. It is fascinating whether you believe it or not. It will get you going. the existence of God was proven. It will have you thinking. It's fascinating whether you believe it or not. So do look that up. I'm not going too far into the God particle today, but I will link it on YouTube, and I will link where you can watch the documentary and whatnot. They used to show it in schools, but I don't know if they show it anymore.
No. Were
Um,
you in a Catholic school or?
I was.
Yeah, I was too.
But yeah, I was in Catholic schools my whole life until, university.
Mhm.
But it was very good. It was very good because it brought the logical element to it. So that's why I enjoyed it so much. But that didn't make me stay Catholic, because that was not something that I resonated with.
Mhm.
And I'm very happy I was brought up that way, but it was not something that I resonated with my entire life, even as a child. And it's not something I resonate now, but I respect it, which is important when you're of a different faith
Mhm.
or whatever. It is important for you to respect other people's points of view,
Oh,
especially with
absolutely.
this stuff.
Absolutely. And I just did Sunday service, and that was kind of what I was talking about is,
Oh,
um, like love and kindness and, intention and how you show up. And I believe strongly, that very much is married in with, you know, how you respond to other people and their ideas, their religions. It takes, you know it's way better to sit there and listen to someone and fully listen and be active listening to someone and pause before you talk as well, right? Because you need to hear what people are saying. Most people are just sitting there through their day, and there could be some very beautiful parts to somebody's beliefs. And if you're just too
yeah,
busy thinking, nope, they're wrong, I don't like it, and I'm going to tell them why they're wrong, you're never going to fully feel that. You're never going to feel that understanding. You're never going to feel that connection. And that's really
it's true.
huge with in my experience and in my belief with people who are non-believers. Non-believers are very much, as soon as you start talking about it, uh, very often are already in their heads thinking about how their arguments are, that they're going to tell you that you're wrong.
Yes, yes,
And they're not listening. They're not listening to your reasons, or um, they're not going to catch, these little nuances or whatever, like the love. They're not going to understand that because they're too busy preparing for a fight. Because
yeah.
that's what our
No,
world
it's
is,
true though.
right?
That's true. Yeah.
So, I I ask, if you are going to be running into somebody, no matter what your religion is, what your belief system is, because not everything's a religion, whatever your any ideas you have, just start intentionally listening and intentionally showing up in these relationships, because you're going to learn so much just by listening to someone, because there's going to be something that you're going to be able to connect. And when I was doing service, like really what's connecting everybody is love, right? So
100%.
um just start doing that for yourself, you know if not just to improve your relationships, right? um I don't know, I've always felt I that there was something I didn't resonate with, a lot of the mainstream religions. As Nikki said, like, oh, there's this person or this old man in the sky, and his kid who's like, coming, and
Yeah.
they're and I'm not trying to, diminish the religions. It's just what people are putting what that is. It's like they're trying to make a um you know make something tangible, make something make sense, I guess, is what
Mm-hmm.
people are
Mm-hmm.
trying to do. uh
Yeah.
but you see people online saying, oh, well, that's tough talk from somebody who believes that some fictional guy is, hanging out in the sky. Well, that's not what it is. That is not what it is. um
It's not the point. No.
Christianity is not some guy hanging out in the sky, you know like, and and same thing like spiritualism. You, you can call it whatever you want. I prefer to call it God, but you know, your infinite source or whatever, you got to know, you got to just take away your ego from it and listen, because you're going to, if you start to listen, you're going to start to be able to understand. And, you know, I've had people who are non believers, and I don't think he totally would mind about it, but my dad, he didn't believe that you could speak with someone who'd passed away. That was, you know, he believed that there was aliens, but he didn't believe
Okay.
that there
All
was,
right.
you know, that you could speak to spirit, right? You're
Right.
gone,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah. Yeah.
gone. And I had actually, we'd gone to see my sister, and she lives on BC Island, and her husband was very much into, you know, mediums, things like that. And this was before my real experience with it, and I would actually go whenever I'd go there just to kind of get a reading. And I didn't even to today, I still didn't ever really understand it, not the way I do now. And it still seemed a little different. But anyhow, so my brother-in-law, I said, yeah, I want to go get a reading. So my brother-in-law, he gets all excited because, you know, when he can do these things, he gets, it's exciting. And there's this beautiful little tea shop.
Love that.
I think her name is Heather. Can't remember the name of the place, but it's like you go and you get scones and tea, and like you kind of got to buy a food with it.
Okay.
It's kind of weird. It's just, it's like a little, and I know, I remember they have really good mushroom soup. So I just loved it there.
Oh, I love mushrooms.
Yeah. Oh, this was so good.
So good.
Yeah. So, my dad, I don't know how he convinced my dad to come with us, but he said, you know, come on with us, Dad. So we were there. And so my dad went in for a reading. And when he came out, he was
Love it.
changed. He was
Yeah.
absolutely changed. Um, one of his family members came through and validated things that had happened, validated things that were going on, and basically, you know, opened his eyes, like proved that there is life after death.
Something.
And it was his brother who came through and said things that were just so, there's no way other people could know.
Like only he would know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Was,
I love
you know,
that.
like,
Goosebumps.
you know, it was like some lady that you're just going to in a different province that you've just met. Like, how would she be able to tell you this information?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
this was probably, I'd say a little over 20 years ago now
Hmm.
that we
Hmm.
went. And, you know, so there's always, oh, you could Google, or, you know, what did I hear somebody said to me about, oh, you're a mentalist. No,
I've
no,
gotten
no,
that.
right? Like, this isn't it. I've done readings with just on the phone, you know, with, I don't see the people.
Hmm.
So when my dad came out, he was so excited. And when my dad gets excited about something, he really wants to share it with everybody. So
Ah.
he came, you know, back to my sister's house, and he was like, tell my mom, you need to go get a reading now, you know? So, that's where I really, I think, have benefited from that actual day,
Hmm.
because in my journey of finding and exploring my gifts and working and becoming a reverend, things like that, my parents actually believe in it. So, you know, they're not, oh, you're, you know, you're silly or whatever. Like, they
Yeah.
believe in it.
Yeah.
And so they have been, you know, it's nice to have your family actually supporting, especially when you're younger and you're kind of trying to figure things out and people think, oh, no, no, this isn't right. So, you know, you kind of suppress, you know, whatever's going on. And yeah, like, it was beautiful. And my wish for everybody would be to have that kind of an experience.
Yeah.
Um, because it's incredibly sad to think that there is nothing after this,
Yeah. No, it's depressing.
you know?
I don't want to think about that.
No, but that's some people's beliefs, and you can imagine how beautiful that would be if they knew different, you know? And I know how much that like changed, you know, just even some of the stuff my dad did, or me, like, I knew that there was something, but now that I really know and I've experienced it, it's another level. Like it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. And, when I'm doing readings, like it's an incredible honor. And funny enough, it happened again this week. And this has happened a few times where the person coming through was like, okay, you're right. Because they would like, poo poo them or whatever if these people ever said anything about, oh, yeah, like they didn't believe in any of this. And
Okay.
then they come for a reading and guess who's there saying, you're right.
Yeah. There's something here.
Yeah.
By the way.
By the way, I'm here. You're right. I'm wrong. And I think one of the readings I did last week was actually funny because the person said, maybe you should write this down because I was never, very obviously it was a person who never ever admitted that they were wrong. But this
Yes.
person said,
Yeah.
write it down, write down the date and time because, you were right. And,
Yeah.
it made them laugh and, just really connected to them. And so now, that can get them excited that they can,
Exactly.
interact with their loved one.
Hmm.
I just, I think the really big thing is just keep open and listen intentionally and
Hmm.
just be open to what other people say. Don't just, you know,
Hmm.
no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
That's not the way to be.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
think a lot of people before or if they ever get to the point where they can like shrug at a non-believer, um like I can, people struggle when um somebody is poo-pooing
Mhm.
what they believe in. Okay.
Yeah.
And I see it so much with my clients who come to me and they're like, I have many clients, by the way, that are Catholic, not to, shine the light on them.
Mhm.
But I have many clients that are Catholic, that are Christian, that are evangelists. I have some Mennonite clients, believe it or not, that come to me for tarot readings,
Mhm.
because and they're open-minded, and I just and I love it. But they do tell me they get slack from that from time to time, and they struggle, they get angry, they get upset at the things that the person says about, whether it's tarot or whether it's the fact they started to meditate, or that, they're praying a different way, and they don't know how to deal with it. And I see that with my own family, how bent out of shape certain members of my family get if I don't believe in um the New Testament, let's
Yeah.
for an example,
Mhm.
right? Fascinating piece of literature. I will say that about the New Testament. I have, read bits and parts of it. I'm not going to read the whole Bible, but there's stories in there that are just very compelling, and I do like them. But to me, they are stories, and there's morals to those stories. So I see my family struggle when they are met with someone who just doesn't believe that, in hell. That's a big one, right? like
Mhm.
like and I see how bent out of shape and angry and upset they get, and I
Uh,
just think like, what? Anyway, so i
yeah.
did i did do a little bit of research just to help, our listeners who have these members in their family who don't believe in, mediumship or God or angels or spirit guide, whatever it is. And I did a little research about like thing how you can deal, I should say, with these people. Even though I don't like that, that term deal, but how you can, move through life with these people, I should say. And it was very interesting because, first of all, one of the biggest ones is exactly what Kim has already brought up. And she said, listen to them, because really, if you really listen and you really hear what they're going to say, there is a very strong point that if they feel that you have connected with what they're saying, they are going to connect with what you are saying. They are going to really listen to you. Okay, especially if you pay attention to the stories that they're giving, if they're talking about stories. This also helps you look at things from a different perspective, which we have to do as human beings on this planet. We are so obsessed with looking at one direction. Our way is the only way. Newsflash, your way is not the only way. Like it's not. It's never going to be like that. And this is a good way to help us. And it does actually help strengthen your own truths and values if you can listen to someone and hear, right?
Well, where
So
you
listen.
need to grow. You can't
Yeah.
grow if you're not challenging yourself or learning different things, different ways of thinking.
Yeah.
If you're stuck in the same like ideals and everything else, and that's the only way it is, it's going to be a long, 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 hard life.
Yeah. No, seriously. Seriously. Um, Number two, value them and remember that they are a person. And that is where it gets hard because this is where we get upset because they don't believe what we say. And then we think that they're stupid and we think that they're all these, things that they are not, right? Remember they have their own identities, their own traumas, and most importantly, that they are human like you. Okay. And all humans believe in something. Even if you don't believe in anything, you believe in something because that's believing in nothing, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And you are dealing with someone who's like you, who has free will. So honor that, right? Very important that you honor that. Remain respectful. That's another big one. And this
Huge.
is one that goes down the crapper faster than anything when you're dealing with someone who's a non-believer.
Yeah.
I see the respect level drop like a
Yep.
ton of bricks.
Yep.
And it bothers me to no end. But please, please stay respectful. Even if they are not able to have that emotional intelligence where they can respect you, you respect them. Please just do it. And if they get to a point where you can't handle it anymore, dear God, please just walk away. Just end the conversation. Okay. Being respectful to someone does not mean that you have to take somebody's verbal diarrhea,
Mhm.
especially if it's unkind, because you will meet those people that will call you stupid or that will say that you're crazy.
You're wrong.
And you have every right to be like, okay, well, I'm going to end this conversation because you can't have a respectful discussion with me about this. And that's it. Right. But you remain cool, you remain calm, and you keep your composure. Right. Says a lot more about you than it does about them.
And I
I'll
have to
tell you that
say,
right now.
I have to say, please, of anything that you do, please remember this when you're on the internet. Like the keyboard warrior, you
My
don't have to
God.
be right. You being right um over somebody else's belief, like because you think you're right, that is not going to get
Yeah.
you anywhere. And like really think, how does that make your life better because you've told somebody off on the internet because you don't believe that their beliefs are right or
Doesn't
legitimate. It
Most people
doesn't.
don't respect keyboard warriors. Just
No.
FYI, if anybody, feels that they need to be a keyboard warrior, please understand that people actually that we don't, I'm going to say it, there's little to no respect for keyboard warriors
Mhm.
because they can get out of hand. So just,
Or
you
even
know,
like anonymous posters, right? Like I even we got an email at the church, and it's not about what we believe in, but it was anonymous, and it was, oh, your website is really, really awful, yikes. And I just replied back, well, thank you for your unsolicited anonymous opinion. um I appreciate it, but if you have some tips, we would love to hear them.
yeah,
So I can imagine that they were quite upset that it fell pretty flat.
probably,
Like,
probably.
what is your purpose? And again, that was my service that I did today. Like, it's that part, like, what I say, is it kind? you know what good is it gonna, is this gonna make things better, or is it gonna make
Mm,
things worse?
exactly.
you know
Exactly.
it's just respect and caring, because we are all in this world together.
Oh, yeah.
And we're all struggling. Like, everybody has something that you don't know about, or and so I would think that a lot of these religions, cults, I guess, more of the things that do come in, um are attracting these people who aren't finding that they're feeling that they're accepted by anybody else. you know and
Yeah.
so
That's a good
if
point.
you could be like that with your people, and around and caring, there would be probably less of these people going off onto these main, like, crazy, oh gosh, like some of them are just bizarre.
Tirades. They're tirades. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's because you're looking for some kind of a acknowledgement. And again, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, as long as someone's acknowledging you and hearing you, you're going to keep doing it. Well, that's
Ooh,
not the way to be.
that tells me somebody's self-concept is in the crapper. So
Mhm.
if you need validation from somebody else for your
Mhm.
beliefs,
Mhm.
perhaps we need to speak to somebody about that.
Mm.
Perhaps we need to look into a counselor or and find out why you need people to validate yourself, right? That's a big one.
And that's huge with, like, people like conspiracy theorists and things like that, right? You know, why?
Okay? Sorry.
But, like, just why would you, it's the same thing. Like, these are their beliefs. So why would you have, you know,
Why does it offend you? What's it bother you so much? That's
yeah.
that's why I don't care. That's
y-
why I don't because when people tell me that, like, well, I mean, aren't you scared that, like, tarot's like, I mean, there's a devil card in there. You said so?
Uh-huh.
Like, what do you care? What do you care? What's the big deal? What is it about? It doesn't affect you. If it affects anybody, it's going to affect me. What do you
Mhm.
care? And that I have said, what do you care to so many people when they bring up tarot stuff or medium stuff? And that actually sends them over the edge.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
upset that I'm asking why they care because I'm curious as to why do you care? It doesn't involve your life. It's
Mhm.
nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with me.
Mhm.
Um, so it's very, very interesting.
Well, and
It
they'll
is very
stop,
interesting,
right?
but
Like, when there's been non-believers, I've actually said, okay, well, like, I've actually had conversations saying, oh, okay, so what do you believe? And then, I'll literally pull out well, I think that's like a really good conversation we should have one day. Like,
and that's actually my next point. That's my next point. The next thing to help you is to ask questions and let them ask questions. So you're supposed to learn from each other and teach each other. If you don't know something, ask it, and don't ask it in a derogatory way.
mm,
Don't ask it condescendingly. Like, don't be passive aggressive. Ask. Even if you think the question is stupid, ask, because you'll be surprised. They'll probably tell you, "Oh my god, I get the question all the time." Happens to me and Kim. Oh yeah, no, no, no. And people ask me that all the time. No problem, no problem. Like, but ask. And I'm glad that you brought that up because you do. You need to talk. You need to talk with the non-believer in front of you if that person's important to you, especially, right?
mhm.
And ask questions, get their point of view. Why? Why do they believe this?
And answer
Right?
respectfully. Answer with that same
Yes.
openness, not with
Yes.
the "you're just so stupid"
That
and
doesn't make
whatever,
sense. That
right?
doesn't make sense.
Um,
Yeah.
Answer respectfully, just like ask the question respectfully. Like, this is so huge in
100%.
communication. People are just like, nope, this is the way it is, whatever. It would be so much nicer if we would just open our hearts and realize, this human being who is here, they didn't, well, I guess we did choose, but that person in front of you, they probably didn't really ask for whatever things led up to their life or whatever, and they've had their experiences just like you have. So why do they not deserve the same respect that you deserve?
Yeah. That you want. That you feel you're entitled to in a sense.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. Ask questions, learn from each other. It's very, very important. Okay. Asking a question does not any way change your belief in
Mm.
your thing. It doesn't. It absolutely does. So please don't be scared to ask questions. Don't be scared to get curious because I've had so many people tell me that they're curious in learning about tarot or mediumship or just curious about how spirituality works because it's not so, rigid. It's not. But they're scared. Just because you're looking into and reading it does not mean all of a sudden that you are a spiritualist. You can still be a Catholic or
Mhm.
evangelist. You're just looking into it,
Mhm.
right? So remember that. Remember that as well. Asking questions does not mean you've changed your faith. All right? Absolutely not.
No.
And the very last thing, which I think Kim actually briefly touched upon again, was finding a common ground, respectfully finding a common ground and finding the connection because life is all about love and connection. This by like the meaning of life, guys, is love. Just FYI. Okay. Anybody who's
Mhm.
asked what the meaning of life is, it is human connection and love. That is it. It's not money. It is
Mhm.
love.
Mhm.
Okay. In all forms. But guaranteed you will find a common ground with what you're talking about. It will be inevitable. I've spoken to so many people who don't believe in what I believe in, and I always end up finding a common ground. And 9 times out of 10, it's the thing that you least expect. I'm telling you right now.
Mhm.
And that sometimes is enough, to make a connection in that moment. You know what I mean? You'll end up bonding over something, and you will end up learning something.
Mhm.
You will. You'll find that common ground. And it's important because we are, in a sense, all connected. Whether you guys want to believe it or not, we are.
And the same thing is, know if you believe in these things, know that, you know, you can change your mind. Um,
Yeah.
you can, and through different experiences, things like that. So
Hmm.
be good with that. Don't be thinking, "Oh god," like my favorite is the one time I said to somebody um that I spent a lot of time with, I didn't believe in hell. Well, like
Yeah,
she
doesn't
like almost
exist.
backed up from me, like she was scared I was going to be like shot
Oh,
down by the
like
lightning
COVID.
bolt because I didn't believe in hell. Like she was just like basically like, "Ah, no, don't say that." Like why should your belief system
Oh, scare you.
be scary? Put
No, I
fear
don't
into
go
you.
that way.
You know,
No.
don't fear. Don't fear. It's love. No one should ever feel
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
Ever. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's
Yeah.
just funny.
No,
Like,
but you're right. I count the amount of people, and I'm sure some of our listeners, the amount of people that they've encountered who are scared to take certain actions, say certain things because of the fact that they could, you know, brimstone, fire, whatever,
yeah,
or
they
that
shouldn't
it's going to
laugh.
give them no. But I mean, I get it though,
But
or that
yeah.
they're going to get bad karma. It
Hmm.
doesn't. By the way, guys, karma doesn't work the way that you guys think it does. But honestly, it makes me sad because nobody should fear the religion or the spiritual like the spiritual movement there, whatever. You should not have any fear in what you believe in.
No.
Please remember that.
No.
Something that's a hill I will die on. If you have fear with what you are connected to, just maybe look into why you have that fear, and that's no bueno. That's my
No.
favorite thing to say. You should not fear. You should not fear.
That um fear, anger, resentment, none of that exists in the spirit world. The only thing that exists in there is love, pure love.
That's right.
So those are all just things that we put on ourselves. I guess it's almost like a form of control. But if you fear your like your ideals, if they make you fearful, I would really
Bueno.
consider looking at why you feel that being fearful is a positive thing for you.
Oh,
Um,
that's a good one.
because you shouldn't fear. You shouldn't
Hmm.
fear.
No.
And you know, that's why one of my favorite things, and I know it makes me sound like a real mean person, but one of my most favorite things is when I'm doing a reading and someone starts crying because I say, those tears are the seeds to healing. And, you know, it's so true.
Yep,
It's so true.
it is.
And those tears come with the recognition, the knowing that you're not um crazy, the knowing that what you really want to believe is true, that they're still with you, just to give you that and to be able to heal. Like I said, with my dad, have his brother come through and say this stuff that was just like,
Yeah.
you could just tell it was incredibly healing. I'm not saying it's
And
going to change your life and whatever, but just to have that knowledge.
try. You gotta try,
Yeah.
though. Like it might not change your life right away. It certainly did not change my life right away, but it ended up changing my life the more I learned about it, read about it, because it kept resonating and resonating. So you keep going down the rabbit hole in a sense, and then that's when it changes your life. So for
Hmm.
for a lot of people, it might not hit you in the head
No,
like
some
so
stuff
often
happens
things
to
do to
me.
Kim. Right from the visor.
To-
Um,
yes.
boom. But it could happen gradually and slowly, like with me. Like it happened, but you gotta try. You've gotta try,
Hmm.
right? Like that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Try. And don't forget that everything should be about gratitude and love, because that's
Hmm.
that's literally what life is about. That's literally what life is about. And I actually have I'm going to it's not a question, but it is I'm going to read it to you now, Kim, to answer,
Okay.
because it's not so much a question as in someone asking for advice about something like this.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of people have been in her position
Okay.
or are in her position now. You and I have definitely been in her position. So
Okay.
it's very interesting. She asked for advice for this. Okay.
Okay.
So she's anonymous, by the way.
All right.
So she says, I was born and raised in a Catholic environment all my life. But about 5 years ago, I started to be more mindful. I started meditating and basically started to look for for a more meaningful way to live my life. Slowly, without knowing, I started to move away from the religious dogma to the point now that I do not believe in the God the religion imposes, but I'm confused. I think I believe in the higher self, but not in a religious God. And it's so hard to explain how I feel. What advice would you give me?
Um,
She's in the in between, basically.
so she believes in like
The higher
the
self,
higher
like,
self,
and
um,
she's moving away from the structure of,
but she
and
does.
she does it like she's
Oh,
confused. Yeah.
okay. Um, well, with the higher self, first of all, I would kind of think like, look and see. Maybe you've done this already, but look and see if what where that Genesis is. I don't know if that makes sense. Like if you don't believe that there's something higher than you and just the higher self, um, where are you getting that from? Right. But when you talk about it, a lot of people will tell you God is in you. And that is a lot of,
Yes.
um, a lot of like the religious writings, like Christianity and things like that. A lot of it have like, oh, there's this man, there's this stuff, or whatever. But really, what it's really saying is God is within you. You are love. You are the light. You are that. So um, don't uh, don't dismiss your belief. Like I just
I know what you're saying.
I
I know what you're saying.
it
Yeah.
it
It's like it's keep going. It basically what Kim is saying is like keep going. Like it doesn't matter that right now you're confused. I obviously to you it matters, so I don't mean it that way, but keep going.
it'll
Keep
shake out.
going. Yes, keep reading, keep exploring, keep
Hmm.
meditating because obviously if you're meditating you're called to something there.
Hmm.
Keep going. And I'm telling you, you will get your answers. And they'll be different from mine or Kim's or what, your friends,
Hmm.
got when she was meditating, but it will be true to you. So
And you will feel it
keep
in you.
going.
It
Yes,
will
that's the
hit.
knowing. It's the
Um,
consciousness.
you know,
Keep going. Keep going.
and we don't know everything. You'll never know
I
everything.
do. I'm kidding.
No, you don't.
I know.
um, but it's just like it the world and how everything works is just so like it's just there's no words. Like how,
Phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
you
It's
know,
phenomenal. That's it. Yeah.
it's and it's like infinite. Um, so you are right now in like the baby steps phases in
Oh, I
stages,
love
right?
that. Yeah.
So you're kind of like,
Yeah.
oh well, like this and I got this going on. And it's like, oh, but I don't think I believe about anything else. But as you walk into that and you start living into that, more will come to you. And that's when, like it's a I call them kind of like downloads or whatever. You kind of get like
Yeah.
these epiphanies all of a sudden and
Yeah.
things start to go
Yeah.
clink clink clink. And
Yeah.
that is the journey you're on. So don't
Don't
like,
rush it.
yeah, just
No,
enjoy
take
it.
your
And
time.
it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
beautiful. I didn't just come out like this. um
What? You didn't?
no, and never in a bazillion years did I think I would ever want to be a reverend or a min I
I
don't even know
know.
how this happened, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And I know people have their ideas, as soon as I tell them that I'm a reverend, it's like they either or whatever, they
Oh,
got
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah,
ideas.
yeah, yeah.
They don't they
Yeah.
don't realize I'm just the same as you as if it is anybody else, right? It just happens to be that, I've been working on this and I love it and I just happen to be have learned this stuff, right? That and it's stuff that I believe. And so when I say I do questions and stuff, I'm not asking you to come on and take on everything that I've told you as truth. Uh, but I want you to know it in me is my truth and what I believe. So if any of my, like I'm doing question and an answer, kind of going to try to do that frequently. when I give those answers, I'll say, this is what I believe, right? I'm not telling
Oh, I
people
like that.
this is what
Oh, I
you have
like
to
that.
believe,
Mhm.
but maybe some of what I will say will resonate and then help you form your beliefs, help you move in your beliefs because you're going to continually move up. And another thing is like, congratulations. Because you have got to this
Yeah,
step. There's so many people who won't even get to that step
they won't.
because they are so into their victim mode or whatever they've done, and they've
Yeah, yeah,
bought the t-shirt, got the gym
yeah.
bag and the pin, and they're off there going. Like, they're just so into sticking
Mhm.
in, this is how things are, nothing changes or whatever, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
congratulations for that. But you are just in
yeah,
your baby steps. So be open as it changes, because there are going to be days, because there's been a few of those for me, where you'll just be sitting there going, and I'll be, you'll be thinking something, and all of a sudden be like, what? Whoa, right? Like, something will just
yeah.
come to you and you'll be like, and then
Epiphanies.
all of a sudden it's just like wide open. You're like, how did I not see this before? So just
I love
know
it.
that. Just know that. And as I will always say, just, you know, give yourself some grace. We're there, nobody handed you a manual as came out of the womb. Um, Nobody went, okay, here, this is how you're going to do things. This is how you're going to parent. This is how you're going to, do your life. Like, none of that happened. So this is all your journey. And, learn your spirit guide, meet your spirit guide, um, and sit with them and do this. And you are going to evolve, and you're
Yeah,
going to evolve
100%.
into what, um, where you're supposed to be. And like,
That's it. That's it though. It's true. That is it. That is exactly it. Don't rush. Don't rush. Enjoy it. Like Kim says, enjoy it because she's right. How many people out there are curious about these things and their fear stops them from moving forward, right? Because if I just look into meditation, my mother will freak. If I just look into getting a medium reading, my husband will lose his mind.
mm,
Um, so yeah, I take it easy, take it slow, don't rush it. And seriously, big congratulations because there are so many people out there that will not make that move because they're scared. Um, and most oftentimes than not, they end up making that move because something happens in their life that just kind of jolts them awake. But you were curious and you just followed that thread. And like Kim says, the downloads,
I,
they're pretty good though.
people have different things
Epiphanies are
for it,
great.
right? Yeah, like, these are things that are just gonna just hit you out of the blue. It's just like,
Yeah.
huh, oh wow. And sometimes you don't even know that you needed to know that.
Yes.
But then
Yes.
when you do,
That's so
your
true.
entire life changes. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's absolutely
It's
beautiful.
true.
So
It's true.
just please, like, just have the grace to um enjoy the journey, because and don't try to expect yourself. It's just, I always like I say, baby steps. If you have a baby who is just born, are you expecting that baby to have a full-time job, pay its way and
Potty
everything,
trained,
be able to
everything.
run, yeah, potty trained, making $1 billion a year because, that's what it needs to do. Um, that's not how anything works. So you enjoy the
No.
journey and be grateful for the journey. And absolutely, I have to say, be absolutely grateful that you have
Yep.
been able to start it. There's too many
Yes.
people that are not. They would be more willing to just, you know, go against people and tell you you're wrong, and never move
Not
out of
learn.
that mindset that there is nothing. It's not a happy place to be.
Nope.
It's
No,
not.
it's not.
But to
No.
know
So
there's
yeah.
beauty and there's love, and to enjoy it and to be grateful for it. And, all this stuff, honestly, from me being like, I used to be negative. I used to think that, everything was doom and gloom and everything else. Um, and it's funny because I tell some people that sometimes now, and they're just like, what?
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
like, no, that's
you
no,
know,
you weren't.
um, absolutely. I absolutely was. So that's why I am so passionate to say to people, like, just have the grace and be grateful for it, because it gets so good once you can
Good for
be
you.
in
That's
that
right.
spot, right?
That's right.
Um, and again, I'm a reverend. Like, what? You
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
Not that
And
I'm
oftentimes,
it's lots.
like oftentimes, once you get there, once you get where Kim and I are, you will think like, I wish I got here sooner.
Yeah,
I wish I got here sooner.
absolutely.
God, I was stubborn.
Yep.
God, my ego wouldn't like, oh, I hate my ego. Like that's where you're gonna get.
But that's where
Because
the
you do
gratitude
love
comes
it.
in, right? That's when the
Exactly.
gratitude comes in, because you say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that I did listen."
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I'm grateful actually that I didn't have those beliefs, or that I was negative, because right now it is just like it amplifies, and you see where you've moved, you know?
100%.
So many
100%.
people
Yeah.
think that they've stalled, and nothing's changed. And it's like, people, when I say, like, journal, write the date, and then start back at the beginning and read it and
Yep.
see, so you can see that change. Um, and I strongly would suggest that with you and with your journey, because then you're going to read, and then you're going to see how you have changed. And because sometimes it's just subtle, so you'll see how you've grown.
I love that. I love, and when I say I love that, I mean I love people who are just starting out.
Mhm.
And they're dabbling in it. And I try not to get overzealous on them because I get so excited and I
Yeah.
want to tell them everything right off the bat and then their head will explode because it's information overload and they have to learn on yourself because we all have our own journey with these things. And
Mhm.
that's why I'm saying don't rush because your
No.
journey is completely different from mine, from Kim's, from your neighbor next door. You are going to get there on your own path in a sense. And it will correlate with, things that Kim has went through or that I have went through because it does actually in really weird ways when you step into spirituality you will find a lot of connection and a lot of similar events or stories that people have went through and it's just it should be further evidence to you that energetically we are so connected um and you were moving in the right direction for like your space and time as it was in that moment you were moving towards the right direction so anybody that's going through something like that, keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Look into it. Don't put pressure on it and keep going. Because honestly, yes, you will. Right when you start the journey, that's probably where you're going to be met with quite a bit of, oh, that's woohoo, or that's crazy, or
Well,
that doesn't make sense.
yeah, like anything that gives you self-doubt.
Yeah, that'll be the hardest part at the beginning. I'll be honest, it will be because you will find yourself taking heed of what they've said and you'll be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, maybe it is crazy. Oh, maybe it doesn't make sense." Just
Mhm.
just you take what they said and like your ego, you put it in the passenger seat and you stay firmly rooted in the driver's seat and keep going.
Mhm.
So take what they said with a grain of salt, you know, put it next to you and keep going.
Yep.
Okay, that's my best advice. That's when people come to me that I'm struggling with my ego, fantastic. Now put it in the passenger seat or in the back seat where it belongs and keep going.
Yep.
Right? Don't get you need your ego to survive, but don't let it dictate your life. So
No.
same thing with non-believers. Don't let them dictate. Just let them say, think, put it in the back seat, and keep going. And you'll who knows where you're gonna end up, right?
Yeah. And you could completely have an idea that, you more align with Christianity, or,
Hmm.
with Buddhism or whatever. Uh, as long as you are doing what your soul's purpose is, and you are honoring your soul and honoring that journey and allowing yourself.
Mhm.
And that's why you have that when you first start doing it. That's why you start having the doubts. That's why you have that, because you need to break through to shed those things. Because once you can start shedding your own belief system, that helps you set aside other people's
Absolutely.
contradictions, things like that. So you were like
You won't
it's
be
like the first
affected.
line of defense, right? Because you're like, okay, nope, nope, that's crazy, that's crazy. But as soon as you can start shedding that and breaking through that, you're going to be able to break through anybody else's opinions, because you'll be
Yeah.
confident and you'll know. I used to say to people, people would say, "Oh, well, that's crap," or whatever, and then I would be like, "Oh gosh, yeah." And I'd feel bad. Not that I thought that it was, but I would think, "Oh, do they think worse of me? Do they think they must just think
That
I'm
happens,
crazy."
yeah.
And I used to be like that, and so I'd be really quiet about certain things, and I wouldn't give my opinion, and, I was just very but once I was able to say, like, I can actually sit in this, and I can talk to the biggest non-believers, and I can have a conversation that could possibly, be very fruitful, or if anything, be respectful and
Right.
be open.
Right. I like
And
that.
you can think that I'm crazy, whatever. I just say, well, we're all a little crazy, right?
Well, we
So
are. Yeah.
we kind of got to be that to be here. But, you know, I'm not going to let your opinion of my belief system alter how I believe myself or
Absolutely.
believe what I have for my journey.
Absolutely. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Wow, guys. I hope you guys like this episode. I think it was I think it was very informative. Um there was a few people who I did tell that we were doing an episode like this. And it's quite funny because when we came up with this episode, I wasn't sure how it was going to be taken, whether people were going to be like, oh, it's just a filler episode. But I actually told 4 people this week, and all 4 people said, oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Mm.
So I don't think I grasped how much certain people struggle with non-believers until this past week, actually. And I didn't even tell Kim this, by the way, that I had 4 people
Oh, you
who
did?
always ask me, oh, yeah, 4 people, 2 clients and 2 friends that listen. And, oh, what's the next episode? What's the next episode? And I told them, and all 4 of them were like, oh my God, this is going to be great. This is amazing. Like, it's going to be such a good one. Like, because it resonated with them. And by the
Mm,
way, with 2 of them, I never thought it would have. But
nice.
and funny enough, they're the 2 that asked if they could listen to it early. I said no, but like, so it shocked me.
Hmm.
So I think that I realized that being around non-believers affects us way more
Hmm.
than many people say and many people are honest about. So I'm really glad that we did this episode, and I hope you guys loved it. And if you've got anything to say, throw it in the comments, email it to us, DM it to us. Everybody keeps just DMing me. Please feel free
Yeah,
to
I never
DM
hear
Kim
from
as well.
anybody
Okay? Like,
ever.
and I love it. And I love it. And they're always DMing my TikTok.
Hmm.
And like, but please DM Kim. She will answer just like I do. She will, it's probably faster, I'll be honest. Okay.
Uh,
So DM her. Okay. But comment, like,
sub-
share, hit the,
subscribe, hit the little dingy bell.
yes, hit the little dingy bell, Kim's bell, hit that bell.
But
That's Kim's.
I also
Okay.
want to say, um, this whole way of approaching these things that sit and reside in you and resonate in you, this isn't just with religion or,
Oh, yeah.
whatever. Please, like politics, how, work, any of those things. Just approach them all from the same mindset.
The same way. Oh, yeah.
You know,
This
we can,
episode could be used for that.
yeah, we can have respectful conversations and not agree.
Yeah.
Eh,
This reminds me of that one client of mine that asked me if you and I ever disagree on anything.
oh,
And I asked that in one of the episodes,
yeah,
and we couldn't think of anything.
no, because
I
we're,
don't think we have.
yeah, no, I think because
Have?
both of us, I think, are strong communicators,
Yes, we
and
are.
able to say, like, well, I don't really know about this or whatever, um, without thinking I'm
And
going to
we've
offend you or you're not going to like me anymore, or,
yeah, yeah,
you don't think that I'm going to
yeah,
think you're some awful person because,
yeah,
we differ in something. I don't really
yeah.
think I don't know that we've ever come across anything.
I don't think so. And
Um,
then now it's gonna happen. Now people are gonna try to find that one thing that you and I are gonna disagree on. We don't. If
no.
here's the thing, if we do, we'll bring it up in a podcast, right? We'll share it. We'll be like, this is what we're split down the middle in.
Yeah.
This is it. But right now, unfortunately, guys, no,
Unfortunately,
no.
fortunately, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately for you guys, fortunately for us.
And I think we've known
Yeah,
each other
so
for a year now. Like, yeah,
yeah,
this is
a
around the
little bit over
time last year that we
our
met.
friend anniversary.
Mhm.
Friend anniversary.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. So,
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
thank
It's
you
pretty
so
funny.
much. And please have those conversations with people that are,
Jeez.
you know, and respectful. Just be so respectful.
Yep. 100%.
Listen
Most
to other
important.
people's opinions and things as you would want them to hear you. And that's
Yeah,
really what you need
exactly.
to do. It's just love. Um, there's just too many awful things in the world. Don't add to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't add that to your
Yeah.
heart.
No, don't. Don't add that to your energy. Don't. Okay, guys. Thank you
Thank
for listening
you.
to this episode. Like, share, subscribe, all of it. We'll be back next week with another episode.
What
Which
is it?
I don't know what it is. I was just trying to pull it up and then I
Oh,
got distracted. What is it?
it
Say it.
looks like the fear of being seen.
Oh, yes. I'm excited for this one. I'm very excited for this one. I think a lot of our listeners and our clients will be super excited about this one because we're going to be talking about powerful, intuitive, and spiritual women who had to fight to be heard. And you'll probably, most people will feel a connection about that.
Yes.
They'll feel a connection. It is going to be International Women's Day, the day that that episode is up, I think, right?
Yeah, March
So
8th.
it's kind
Yeah.
of perfect. Yeah, so it's perfect timing.
Mhm.
So I am excited for that one.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you
Okay.
so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And I just have to say, we're not going to DM you for readings, okay? I've been getting ones from
No.
some other medium that I kind of watch, and I keep getting all these things, and I know because he always says, "I'm never going to DM you," and
Oh
and and
no,
it's
scammer.
repeatedly I keep getting these DMs from this guy, and I'm like, okay, I know you're not him, so so
See,
don't
we
do
won't do
it.
that.
No.
No, we won't do that. No. No. Okay, guys, thank you for listening. We hope you have a phenomenal week ahead of you, and
Hmm.
we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.